I just want to explain what a nil rate band trust is and how it works. So, everyone in the UK can leave up to £325,000 to their beneficiaries without paying tax, which is great. However, if you were to leave that £325,000 or part thereof to a beneficiary, the beneficiary could lose it. Example, if you left £325,000 to a son and that son was divorced the day after inheriting, he could lose half of it. If he went bankrupt the day after inheriting, he could lose all of it. If he were to go into care, that amount of money could be taken into consideration. Your grandchildren, your son's children, could pay inheritance tax when he passes away. So what we do is we put a nil rate band trust in the will. And this not only protects against the things that I've said, but will also protect, for example, if a beneficiary were to be on benefits, because you wouldn't want them to lose their benefits just because they inherited some money. The way a nil rate band trust works is in conjunction with a loan note. So if you are to give a beneficiary their inheritance, let's call it for the sake of argument £1,000, if you want to protect it, they then sign at the same time a loan note. Now that loan note is never actually repaid in their lifetime, but it protects them throughout their lifetime because it is a technical debt. So if you give £1,000 to somebody and they were to divorce the next day, a divorce lawyer can't take into equation that £1,000 because it's a debt, it's got to be paid back. Similarly, if that individual were to go bankrupt, the official receiver can't take it. If the individual was to go into care, that can't be taken into consideration, and it won't affect any benefits either. So the loan itself is never repaid until the individual passes away, and this is where it really comes into its own. Because the amount of money that you leave to your beneficiaries won't then add to their estates, instead of inheritance tax being charged on that amount and potentially having to be paid on that amount by your beneficiaries' children, which will most often be your grandchildren, that money, instead of going to the government, goes back into the trust for the benefit of the grandchildren. Because if, your example, your son has an estate of £325,000 in his own right, and you leave him £325,000, then he has gone over the threshold, and 40% of that would then be chargeable on his estate. If, however, it's considered a debt, that £325,000 has to be paid back to the trust, and the beneficiaries of the trust are his children, your grandchildren. And this can last up to 125 years, which is why everybody in the know has a nil rate band trust and uses loan notes to prevent loss from the estate through the areas that I highlighted earlier.